Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know where we are today?
Well, we are in the second chapter of Ecclesiastes, I believe.
We sure as fuck are.
Yeah, and yesterday I was kind of at a loss as to what to say because it was so cool, the wording and the phrasing that they used. And, it was really a beautiful chapter.
Darkly
beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of excited about what today will bring, I guess.
I am as well.
And so what are we getting into today?
Chapter 2 of Ecclesiastes.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right, let's get into Ecclesiastes chapter 2.
Okay.
I said to myself,
You says to yourself, huh?
I says to myself, I said, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good.
Okay.
But that also proved to be meaningless.
Wow.
Gemini, somebody needs
this
some...
guy's needs some,
He needs some Xannies.
Yeah,
some
definitely.
mushrooms.
Wellbutrin, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. Lexapro, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Laughter, I said, is madness. And what does pleasure accomplish?
I mean...
He's so depressed.
Right? Yeah, this person is very depressed.
Maybe, okay. Playing off of, remember, Kohelet is a female name.
Right.
But he is the son of David. Maybe we've got a trans person on our hands who is going through gender dysphoria. And so they're upset.
I would not have thought of that. But yeah, that could be very much the case.
I'm stuck on, I have a female name. Why? And everybody's like, maybe because.
Right. But that's an interesting theory.
Right?
I mean, it's not backed up by anything
at all.
But
it purely speculation straight from the depths of my dumb head.
Yeah. But I mean, that's interesting.
Right?
This person is very depressed.
Depressed.
So.
Right?
Yeah.
I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly. My mind's still guiding me with wisdom. I wanted not capital W wisdom.
Got it.
He was not with her.
Right.
Just
wisdom.
Just some wisdom.
Just the wisdom.
Generic wisdom.
Got it. Not capital W wisdom. Right. Yeah.
I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens during the few days of our lives.
Damn, this is very morose.
It is. It is. Quite macabre.
Yeah.
I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them.
Sounds like they did a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's good.
I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves. As you do.
I don't approve of that.
No. Bad choice. Yeah. And had other slaves who were born in my house.
Still don't approve of that. Not okay with that.
I understand it was the time.
I don't think that was a wise move.
No.
Personally speaking.
But I do get that you're trying different things to try to cheer yourself up.
Right.
Did you try scrapbooking?
I mean, I don't. I feel like. I don't know. Like, they've done a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess part of, there's all these self-help books now, right? Part of it is, like, finding your own happiness. Like, did any of these things strike you as making, like, did they make you happy? Or are you
trying different things?
I
feel
like we're coming to a point where they're going to say, but the only thing that was missing was God.
Oh, no. I didn't see that coming. Oh, no. You're probably right.
But I'm like, no, but these other things are really cool. And maybe you just didn't choose them. But, I mean, definitely the slaves was bad.
The slaves was bad.
Yeah.
But the building and the the nature.
But maybe that wasn't who they were. Maybe they were doing these things because people told them to do them.
Right.
Maybe they were more of a
hammer and nails kind of guy.
Yeah, who knows?
Or maybe
they like to etch in stone or something.
Maybe they needed to go buy some new clothes.
Yeah.
And get a haircut and get their nails did.
Right.
Maybe they needed to try painting instead of building.
Right. Maybe wine wasn't the thing. Maybe it was more like beer. Ale, whatever it was back then.
Maybe they need to try cooking.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like some people
maybe they just didn't do the right things. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they needed to play chess. And I'm saying that as somebody who hates chess. Maybe they needed to try chess.
Yeah. Okay? You never know.
I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers.
Singers?
Yeah, I bought me some slaves that could sing.
Oh. Okay.
And a harem as well.
Wow, a harem.
He bought a harem.
Jesus Christ.
So this guy is drinking, he's building, he owns all the animals, he's rich as fuck, he's having all the sex, doing all the drugs.
Right.
The delights of a man's heart. So
I mean, the delights of what men say is the delights of their hearts.
Right.
Again, you maybe haven't tried the right things or in the right way. I don't know.
I'm still going to put out there that maybe you're transgender and you need to get right with yourself.
I think that's highly plausible based on what we're reading here.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because all of these things are the delights of a man's heart. Maybe you don't have the heart of a man.
Yeah, right.
Which is okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this, my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. My eyes, but not my heart.
Right.
I refused my heart no pleasure.
There's the heart, I guess.
Okay. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for all my toil. So you were happy, yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, sigh, everything was meaningless. A chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun.
But was it not? I don't feel like it's meaningless. It's meaningless if it has no meaning to you. If it had meaning to you, then it isn't meaningless.
But I think that's the point. He's going through the motions.
Right, and you're chasing meaning in a harem? That's not meaning.
I think that's his
sex.
Point. That's his point.
But meaning would be having a relationship with somebody or a friendship with somebody or like the things that they're chasing are not...
They're surface. They're not
they're very surface.
But I think that's his point, though. He's saying, I did all of these surface things, and I still was not finding happy. I was doing everything expected of me, and I still wasn't happy. I was rich and powerful, and I did everything I was supposed to do, hypothetically, and nothing brought me joy because there was nothing deep in any of it.
Well, if you weren't joyful, I feel like you weren't as wise as you thought you were.
There it is. It is, right there. Boom.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's not... It has nothing to do with the actions. It has to do with what you perceive. You perceive these to be the correct things.
Right.
Obviously, they weren't.
Right. I mean, everybody keeps telling me, if you would just love chess, you would, just try it. You'll love it. And I have tried it, and I don't love it.
Right.
And if I put my head to chess, I would be miserable all the fucking time.
Right.
If I memorized, like, all the opening moves or whatever, and en passant thing. Whatever the fuck it's called. Like, all the goddamn stupid vocabulary.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if I learned all that shit, right? And let's say I became pretty good at it. I don't see that happening, but let's just pretend for a second.
Yeah.
I would still be miserable.
Well, then we could try Magic the Gathering.
I don't want to play that either. Look, I just want to play Parcheesi and be done.
Okay.
Like, I don't need all that.
Got it, yeah.
All right. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise have eyes in their heads, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. Everybody dies in the end.
That's true, yeah. And I've often thought, in passing, how blissful it could be to be the ignorant fool, like you don't see all the shit. You don't see all the crap that's happening, right?
To be shallow.
Right. And
Yeah.
you're not bothered by, climate change. You're not bothered by the politics going on. You're not bothered by anything except for what's in front of you. Right. I've thought that often that would be.
Lord, take this
But
sight from my eyes.
I don't want that though. What I want is for my actions to be meaningful in some sense, to do something to affect the change in some small way towards those things that I see that are injustices or that are wrong.
Right.
And that's what I endeavor to do with my life.
Because once you see it, then you're responsible for it.
Right. But I do think that moving in that direction and fixing those things is rewarding. Mm-hmm. I see that as rewarding.
Sure.
So.
Then I said to myself, I said, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? This guy's so depressed.
It really is, yeah.
I'm sorry for him.
Yeah.
I said to myself, this too is meaningless. God damn it.
Does he say God damn it?
He doesn't.
Oh, okay, damn it.
But it sounded right, though.
Right, yeah.
It was right in line with it.
Right, yeah.
For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. That is true.
Right.
The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Yeah.
Well, but many people say that this was written by Solomon, possibly. Solomon has not been long forgotten.
That is true.
I'm just saying, if it was Solomon...
But nobody knows that Ecclesiastes / Kohelet guy.
Right.
Girl.
But yeah,
guy.
We don't really know who wrote this, but some people say that maybe it was Solomon. And if it was Solomon, most people know who Solomon is. Yeah. Or at least have heard of Solomon.
Have heard the name.
Right.
Like the fool, though, the wise too must die. Yeah.
It's true. We've covered that in other chapters. Mm-hmm. Like, well, it doesn't really matter. Y'all die. We all die.
Everybody dies someday.
But I do feel like this is a mental health issue more so than it is an actions thing.
This is like an emergency. Like if somebody wrote this down in their diary and you were like flipping through,
I'd be very worried.
Wouldn't you come and be like, look, okay, bad me. I was reading your diary.
Yeah, right.
Like we'll address that in just a second.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
First of all, just let me say, it's very beautiful. What she wrote is very beautiful.
It's very, I think we should pursue some writing.
Yeah.
Because that could be the key to what you're looking for.
Seems to be, you're very good at it, so.
But also, should I call 911? Do you have guns that I need to take away for a while?
Yes, yeah, that might be a question you would want to ask, yeah. Because they don't seem very,
I'm going to take all the sharp objects away for a while. And I'm not joking.
Right.
This is not me being funny.
Yeah.
This is...
No, it's very dark. It's very dark.
Yeah.
It does not. I mean, again, unless this is lending towards an eventual.
And then I found
God. It doesn't lend towards, God very well.
No, it really doesn't.
So I'm just saying that it's odd.
It is. So I hated life. It continues.
Yeah.
Because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. He hated life because he hated work.
Got it.
All of it is meaning. Well, it says he hated all that is done under the sun. Maybe he had an allergy to the sun.
Could be.
There are some people, seriously,
that
have photo whatever. I forget what it's called.
Right.
But it's I have a mild allergy to the sun. Actually,
sure.
It causes my eyes to water and I get real tingly.
Well, and again, if we're talking about a trans person here back then, they would have had to wear extra clothing to keep themselves, not seen for their gender. They're, not.
They would have had to dress opposite of how they wanted to.
They would have been hotter in the sun than other people would have been because they would have had to conceal what they were.
Well, I mean, this is a king talking, so it would have been a guy dressing as a king, right?
Right.
Not.
Well, they didn't say no. They said it's the son of a king. It hasn't said specifically that it is a king.
Oh yeah. It was son of the king of David.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. All of it is meaningless. A chasing after the wind. I love that they keep repeating. You're chasing after the wind.
Right.
That is just such a cool phrase.
Yeah. No, and at some level, it's very true. It's just you have to find the joy in your life. With those. Regardless of whether you're chasing after the wind, you still are affecting something that does transcend you. So.
Right. Something outside yourself that's greater than.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be remembered, but I mean, that's not the important bit.
Right.
The important bit is that you feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah. I hated all the things I had toiled for under the sun because I must leave them to the one who comes after me. And who knows whether that person will be wise or foolish. Yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil, into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. And this too is meaningless.
I don't understand that thought.
I don't either.
Because to me, I already have reconciled the fact that I'm going to die and that's it, right? And I don't really have a need to. I don't care what happens to my toys after I die. You know, I mean, I want them to go to somebody that I love. Beyond that, what they do with them is not of my concern.
Well, and if you are a follower of God, nor should it be, because that's an earthly concern, and you will be hypothetically in heaven, and those things won't matter to you.
Right.
So they shouldn't matter to you now.
But the worth of what I do, I have always found in the moment in my lifetime. It's something that I care about. Like, I care about how I treat others in my life. I care about how others view me in my life. I care about actions that I take and things that I say. You know, these are the things that I worry about. I don't care so much. I mean, I've got a shitty ass computer that we do our podcast on. I've got desks that are in disrepair. I've got, a car that's in disrepair. And, I don't give a shit about my things. I give a shit about how I treat others and how they perceive that I treat them.
Right.
That's the biggest wins I have in my life.
I mean, I've always said, with regards to my relationship with you and our family, I could live in a cardboard box as long as we're together, because home is what you make it and where you are. And
to an extent, that's true.
That's a little bit hyperbolic, I will grant you, and easy to say, given that we do have a roof over our head.
Right.
And probably insulting to those who are unhoused. But that's something I've always said before I had better language for it.
Sure.
Which is that...
I think the sentiment is that, you only need the people that you care about. Is what you really truly need in your life.
Yeah.
And, whatever it takes to make that a successful relationship with those other people is what you want to strive to do.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you want to have shelter. You want to have things that are important to have. But it's the people around you and your interactions in your day-to-day life that really make a difference to you and to others. So
right. I think I
not
meant,
the things that you acquire.
I think I meant I don't need a mansion or a yacht.
Correct.
Correct. Don't need material things. I need to feel that I am with the people who love me and that I love.
Right.
And that we are working together on a shared plan for the future or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Definitely.
So my heart began to despair over all my toilsome labor under the sun. For a person may labor with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, and then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. That's
not necessarily true, but you don't have to leave it to anybody. You could give it to whoever you want to.
Okay, but according to the laws back then,
sure.
It would have gone to their oldest son or whatever.
I guess.
And he's like, that sucks. I'm like, do you not like your kids?
then I was gonna say, if that's your biggest concern, I have to take issue with how you raised your kid. Then
have a better relationship with your kid.
Right.
Fix that now. Make that the thing that.
Yeah, work on that.
Yeah.
That can be the difference that you make.
Right. This too is meaningless and a great misfortune. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving for which they labor under the sun? All their days, their work is grief and pain. It doesn't sound like, if you're rich, that you had a lot of grief and pain, but I digress.
They had slaves. I don't think they were doing all this toiling. They were telling people to do the toiling for them. But
and they were like, oh, I worked all so hard today telling my slaves about the hard work they needed to do.
He had slave singers.
Yeah.
That's above and beyond.
Like, maybe you missed the mark there. Maybe you were supposed to be singing.
Right? Yeah.
Right? Like, take singing lessons.
Yeah.
You're allowed to sing.
Yeah.
Like, you almost had it. So close. Even at night, their minds do not rest. This, too, is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Well, I feel like this guy has a mixture, or this person has a mixture of like ADD and depression.
Yeah.
And like their mind's always racing about all the things that need to be done and could be done, and oh my God. And
my time's too short. And
right.
I'm Hamilton. I don't have enough time. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment?
Ooh, me.
Right? Same. To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner, he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless.
Wait, which
chasing after the wind?
Which are you? Are you the sinner, or are you the? Because like you're kind of giving me a mixture of both here.
Right.
That you're wise and you're
a wise
have wealth,
sinner,
but you're going to be passing it over to somebody who doesn't have any. What? So they're kind of mixing the two things here.
Yeah,
and
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm eager to find out more.
Yeah,
but that's
I am worried about this person though.
I am very worried. They sound suicidal ideation at the least.
Right.
And I'm like, you can't put your meaning. You can't find meaning in. You can't put your meaning that you find in like something else that's meaningful to other people. You have to find it yourself.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the things when we first got together that you had to teach me. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And that sounds so fucking cliche.
But it's true.
It's a cliche because it's true. Like, it's kind of like, if you don't love you, why the fuck should I?
Right.
Like, not to be cruel.
No, but it makes it difficult for other people to, be a part of your life if you can't first accept yourself for who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes all other relationships that much easier once you have. So.
Exactly.
Was there anything else today, or was that it?
I'm just kind of at a loss. No, that's it.
It's still beautiful, like the way it's written. It's still very beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't think that this person is mentally okay.
I don't either.
Because I don't think they're even speaking correctly about what God is responsible for and what God isn't responsible for.
Right.
I feel like they're just depressed about their life,
mm-hmm.
and they can't even see exactly what they're saying and how it doesn't really make sense with regard to God.
They didn't even mention God till the end of the chapter, and I feel like they tacked on like, oh, I'm supposed to talk about God too.
I feel like that might have been tacked on as an afterthought by some other writer, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that being said, this is very not in the vein of going with the whole God message in the Bible so far.
Go gadget God, and then he's like, but not really.
Yeah, no, I'm still enjoying this.
I'm enjoying Eeyore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
It's like we all love Eeyore, or if we're going Care Bears, we all love the sad Care Bear. You know.
Is it Grumpy?
It is Grumpy.
Yeah.
And then the Smurf is Grouchy Smurf.
Sounds right.
And then what is the Seven Dwarfs? Was that one? He's Grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We all like the grumpy, grouchy guy.
Right.
You know,
sure.
He's the one that tempers all the love and the joy that can be a little overbearing. You need somebody a little cynical and dark.
Definitely.
To kind of balance it out.
But I don't think you have to be depressed to be cynical and dark, exactly.
No, but this guy is.
Definitely.
And I'm saying guy in the generic sense.
Sure, because they keep referring to themselves as that. So
yeah, and I'm still not entirely convinced that it's not either a woman or somebody with gender dysphoria.
Right.
Like, yes, that's just me pulling that out of my ass.
But given the name, it could be.
It could be.
I mean,
it really surprises me that nobody else has mentioned it.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Ecclesiastes chapter 2.
It sure as fuck was.
And we will be back tomorrow with
Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
We will see you then.
Yep. Bye.
Hey wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.